Well, good morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Nancy coming to you from the Upper Chichester Library in Upper Chichester, Pennsylvania, and this is Storytime. Today I have chosen 3 stories. One is about a poky little puppy. One is called The Last Stop on Market Street, and this is about a little boy who rides a bus with his grandmother. And then I have Thomas and Friends Railway Rhymes. I think everyone who's 3 or 4 years old knows about Thomas and the trains. So the first one I thought I would read is The Poky Little Puppy. This is a story that was written by Janet Lowry and illustrated by Gustav Tengbring. Well, we have 5 little puppies dug a hole under the fence and went for a walk in the wide, wide world. I think they were curious and wanted to see what went on beyond their fence. Through the meadow they went, down the road, over the bridge, across the green grass, and up the hill, one right after the other. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's the 5th one. He's going to turn out to be the poky little puppy. And when they got to the top of the hill, they counted themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4. One little puppy wasn't there. Now, where in the world is that poky little puppy, they wondered, for he certainly wasn't on the top of the hill with them. He wasn't going down the other side. The only thing they could see going down was a fuzzy caterpillar. And he wasn't coming up this side. The only thing they could see coming up was a quick green lizard. But when they looked down at the grassy place near the bottom of the hill, there he was, running round and round, his nose to the ground. "What is he doing?" the 4 little puppies asked one another, and down they went to see, roly-poly, pell-mell, tumble-bumble, till they came to the green grass, and then they stopped short. "What in the world are you doing?" they asked. "I smell something," said the poky little puppy. Then the 4 little puppies began to sniff, and they smelled it too. They smelled rice pudding. And home they went as fast as they could go, over the bridge and up the road, through the meadow and under the fence. And there, sure enough, was dinner waiting for them, with rice pudding for dessert. But their mother was greatly displeased. "So you're the little puppies who dig holes under fences," she said. "No rice pudding for you tonight." And she made them go straight to bed without their dessert. But the poky little puppy came home after everyone else was asleep. And he ate up all the rice pudding and crawled into bed as happy as a lark. The next morning someone had filled the hole and put up a sign that read, "Don't ever dig holes under this fence." Now, do we think the puppies can read? Well, maybe so, maybe not. But the 5 little puppies dug a hole under the fence just the same and went for a walk in the wide, wide world. Through the meadow they went, down the road, over the bridge, across the green grass, and up the hill, 2 and 2. And when they got to the top of the hill, they counted themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4. One little puppy wasn't there. Now, where in the world is that poky little puppy, they wondered, for he certainly was not on the top of the hill with them. He wasn't going down the other side. The only thing they could see going down the other side was a big black spider. And he wasn't coming up this side. The only thing they could see coming up was a brown hop toad. But when they looked down at the grassy place near the bottom of the hill, there was the poky little puppy sitting still as a stone, with his head on one side and his ears all cocked up. See his ear all cocked up there? I wonder if he's listening for something. What is he doing? The four little puppies asked one another. And down they went to see, roly-poly, pell-mell, tumble-bumble, until they came to the green grass, and there they stopped short. What in the world are you doing? They asked. I hear something, said the poky little puppy. The four little puppies listened, and they could hear it too. Chocolate pudding, they cried. Someone is spooning it into our bowls. And home they went as fast as they could go, over the bridge, up the road, through the meadow, and under the fence. And there, sure enough, was dinner waiting for them, with chocolate pudding for dessert. But their mother was greatly displeased. So you're the little puppies who will dig holes under the fence, she said. No chocolate custard tonight. And she made them go straight to bed. But the poky little puppy came home after everyone else was sound asleep, and he ate up all the chocolate custard and crawled into bed as happy as a lark. The next morning, someone had filled the hole and put up a sign, "Don't ever, ever dig holes under this fence." But, in spite of that, the five little puppies dug a hole under the fence and went for a walk in the wide, wide world. Through the meadow they went, down the road, over the bridge, across the green grass, and up the hill, 2 by 2. And when they got to the top of the hill, they counted themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4. One puppy wasn't there. And we know who it is. It's the poky little puppy, right? Now, where in the world is that poky little puppy, they wondered, for he certainly was not on the top of the hill. He wasn't going down the other side. The only thing they could see going down was a little green grass snake. He wasn't coming up the other side either. The only thing they could see coming up was a big grasshopper. You can look for grasshoppers in your garden. But when they looked down at the grassy place near the bottom of the hill, there he was, looking hard at something in the ground in front of him. What is he doing? The four little puppies asked one another, and down they went to see, roly-poly, pell-mell, tumble-bumble, till they came to the green grass, and there they stopped short. What in the world are you doing? They asked. I see something, said the poky little puppy. Oh, what did he see? The four little puppies looked, and they could see it too. It was a ripe red strawberry growing right there in the grass. Strawberry shortcake, they cried, and home they went as fast as they could, over the bridge and up the road, through the meadow and under the fence. And there, sure enough, was dinner waiting for them, with strawberry shortcake for dessert. But their mother said, So, you're the little puppies who dug that hole under the fence again. No strawberry shortcake for supper tonight. And she made them go straight to bed. But this time, the four little puppies waited till they thought she was asleep, and then they slipped out and filled up the hole, and when they turned around, there was their mother watching them. What good little puppies, she said. Come and have some strawberry shortcake. So here they are having their strawberry shortcake. They finally got dessert because they did what they were supposed to do. And this time, when the poky little puppy got home, he had to squeeze in through the wide place in the fence, and there were his four brothers and sisters licking the last crumbs from their strawberry shortcake. Dear me, said his mother, what a pity, you're so poky. Now the strawberry shortcake is all gone. So Poky Little Puppy had to go to bed without a single bite of shortcake, and he felt very sorry for himself. But he had had dessert other nights when his puppy friends had not. And the next morning someone had put up a sign that read, No desserts ever unless puppies never, ever dig holes under the fence again. And that's the end of that story. And I thought that was a really cute story. If you want dessert, you have to sometimes follow your mother's rules, like no digging holes under the fence. Now, this next book is called The Last Stop on Market Street, and it's written by Matt De La Pena, and the pictures are by Christian Robinson. And the pictures, I think, are very colorful and interesting. I hope you'll enjoy them too. Okay, I'm just going to take this cover off the book. It's very colorful. It's actually the same as what's on the hardback cover. Okay, so here we have these wonderful illustrations depicting this city that this little boy CJ lives in. It says, CJ pushed through the church doors and skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. Have you ever walked outside when it's just getting started raining? He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, How come we have to wait for the bus in all this wet? Well, trees get thirsty too, his Nana told him. Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw? CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. Now we know that the water sinks down into the ground for the trees to drink. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals. He watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. Nana, how come we don't have a car? Boy, what do we need a car for? We have a bus that breathes fire and old Mr. Dennis who always has a trick for you. She's referring to the bus driver, Mr. Dennis. The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. What's that I see? Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear and placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon, and she made sure that CJ did the very same thing. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped again. Nana hummed as she knit. How come we always have to go here after church, CJ said. Well, Miguel and Colby never have to go anywhere. I feel sorry for those boys, she told him. They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the sunglass man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat. And CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched the cars zip by on either side and watched a group of boys hop off the curbs with their bikes. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. How can that man can't see? Now, if you'll see, the man has a white stick and sunglasses, and that usually is the sign of someone who is blind and cannot see. Boy, what do you know about seeing? Nana told him. Some people watch the world with their ears. That's a fact. Their noses, too, the man said, sniffing at the air. That's mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am. Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. Sure wish I had one of those, he said. He's referring to this phone. The boys they're listening to music on their phone. Nana sat down her knitting. 4. You have the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song? CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. I feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered. I like to close my eyes. Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. They all closed their eyes together and listened to the man playing his guitar. And in the darkness, with their eyes closed, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus and out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves. He saw a family of hawks slicing through the air, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound that gave him the feeling of magic. Music can sometimes do that for us, can't it? The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm, and CJ dropped it into the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis called. Mr. Dennis, the bus driver, called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti tagged windows and boarded up stores. He reached for Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes, when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's really beautiful. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arching over their soup kitchen that they were going to. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful things where he never had thought to look for them before. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, at the broken street lamps still lit upright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, I'm glad we came. So they're seeing some people they know through the windows of the soup kitchen. And they're standing up in line. That's what you do at a soup kitchen. I've worked in them before myself. He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, Me too, CJ. Now come on. And you can see all these people are lining up for food, and they're sitting together. It's very much like a big cafeteria. And that is the end of that story. And it looks like they're on a bench waiting for the bus. I don't know about you, but I rode a lot of buses when I was a girl and when I lived in Philadelphia. I loved riding buses. Now the last one is called Railway Rhymes. And they're all about Thomas and his friends. And as you know, Thomas is a little blue steam engine. And I just thought some of the rhymes were really fun. Thomas is a tank engine who's small and short and blue. He sometimes causes mischief, but his heart is good and true. Engines don't have hearts, you say, and that is very smart. But Thomas's good nature proves he does not need a heart. For those with hearts are good and kind. They help when times are tough. They stick by friends and those in need and cannot give enough. They listen when they're spoken to and try to do their best. They know there's time to work real hard and time to play and rest. So Thomas doesn't have a heart, but he is all of these, good, hard-working, smart, and kind. He always aims to please. And on this branch line back and forth, he's loyal to the end, and with his spoiler he is still a really useful friend. Now this is Sir Topham Hatt. This is a little rhyme about him. Who's the one who must be sure that surface is first rate? Who cheers the trains when they're on time and chides them when they're late? Who keeps the branch lines safe and sound and makes sure that mail gets through? Who's the one who runs the rails? Sir Topham Hatt, that's who. Now this is Gordon. Gordon is this big blue steam engine. Thomas is a small blue steam engine. Here comes Gordon, big and strong. He's pulling the express along. There goes Gordon. He hasn't time to linger while we read this rhyme. Now this is Trevor. Trevor was old, and one day he was sold for scrap, which made him quite sad. Thomas wasn't amused. He thought Trevor ill-used, and this made Thomas mad. But then Thomas thought, I know help is sought at the vicar's orchard and farm. So Thomas implied Trevor ought to be tried. He surely can't do any harm. Well, the vicar adored him, and he implored him to stay and assist with the chores. And now I am guessing that Trevor's a blessing, doing work that I know he adores. Oh, here's one. This is called Cranky. He's a big crane, and they call him Cranky. Cranky, off the train, onto the ship, the crates and barrels must not slip. Off the ship and onto the train, in the sun, the snow, the rain. Back and forth and to and fro, he has no wheels, he cannot go. Day in, day out, the whole year through. Wouldn't you be cranky too? That's true, he can't move, but he can move his big arm up here to load boats. Now over here we have Salty. This is Salty right here. Who loves to unload every ship at sea? Yo-ho, and a bucket of prawns. He's old and he's rusty, but smart as can be. Heave-ho with that bucket of prawns. With troublesome trucks, he always gets through. Yo-ho and a barrel of clams. They always will mind him and give him his due. Heave-ho with that barrel of clams. Now we have Donald and Douglas. Twin engines from Scotland are we, as alike as two engines can be. Though our number and name just aren't the same, we're identical as you can see. They do pretty much look alike. Each one will say this of the other, I like to stay close to my brother. So bring on the freight or the passengers great, as long as we're near one another. And this one is the breakdown train. You see it's green and it has a hook on it, and it's used to help trains that might break down. The breakdown train, he has no name. He's quiet, strong, and spare. But if there's a crash and trains go smash, the breakdown train is there. Now we have Spencer. Okay. Spencer, silver, sleek, and strong, pulls a private car along. On the suspension bridge so high, Spencer almost seems to fly. Then we have Harold the helicopter. Harold the helicopter, chop, 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 flies so high, chop, 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 looks down on Sodor, chop, 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 from up in the sky, chop, chop, chop. He goes faster, chop, 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 than most trains, chop, 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 and doesn't get stuck, chop, 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 if it snows or rains, chop, chop, chop. Now we have Annabelle and Clarabelle. Every day in every weather, following Thomas linked together, carrying passengers and their freight, together handling lots of weight. Up hills and down hills, in country and town, flash Thomas's blue and then our sleek brown. Our branch line is busy and keeps us on track, always together, back to back. Annie sees forward as soon as we've started, while Clarabelle sees when we've just departed. So there's Thomas, and there's Clarabelle. And this is Bertie. Bertie is a bus, and the bus is used to bring people to the train station. Faster wheels, round and round, to Wellsworth Station I am bound. Honk, honk, make way. I have steps to make today. I have stops to make today. Wham, wham, babies, hush. Don't cry, I'm in a rush. Vroom, vroom, beep, beep. There's a schedule I must keep. Crossings down, boo-hoo. Thomas goes to Wellsworth too. Stop sign not fair. I really want to beat him there. And now we have Bill and Ben. And we have his name Bill and Ben. And they look very much alike. And then this is George. Bill and Ben, as twins will do, like to play a trick or two. They look alike and for some fun pretend to be the other one. And so when bored, Bill often will say he's Ben and Ben that he's Bill. Back and forth these two will go, and which is which you just don't know. At last you're sure who's who, and then Bill says, I'm Bill, and Ben says, I'm Ben. The pair is still, and Bill is Bill, and Ben is Ben. But until when? They like to fool people because they look so much alike. Then over here we have George the steamroller. He wants to turn all rails to roads. Railways are no good, he says. Now over here we have Terence. Tilling the fields, and this is Terence right here. Tilling the fields and plowing rows, he's steady, if not fast. He whistles at his engine friends as they go rushing past. He cannot pull a railway car and doesn't push a truck, but Terence comes in mighty handy when an engine's stuck. His splendid caterpillar wheels are great for mud or snow, and when he's finished helping out, back to the farm he'll go. So that's Gordon rushing along with his trains behind him. So these are the old engines. We have Reneus is an engine who is mighty proud to say, I'm old but still can carry folks to market every day. Stepney's kind to one and all. There's reason for his cheer. He almost ended up as scrap. He's grateful to still be here. Okay, Sir Handel can be difficult. Bad-tempered, don't you know? But if you give him lots of coal, without much fuss, he will go. Sharkley, okay, this is Sharkley's old guard has retired. His new one seems like fun. Scarloey laughs, I'm oldest of all, and will still outlast each one. And then I think I'll read about Edward and Emily, and that will be the end of our rhymes for the day. This is Edward up here. Oh, Edward Blue, may I ride with you and do things you've done, and see the sights of days and nights, and learn of work and fun. Despite your size, we are so wise, and also very true. I hope someday someone will say, I am like Edward Blue. And then we have Emily over here. Independent Emily has a lot to prove. She's the only female steamy, and she's always on the move. If Thomas can shunt 3 freight cars, then Emily shunts 4. If Thomas wants to make 2 trips, then Emily wants more. Anything that Thomas does, she feels she can do better. If Thomas gets caught in the rain, then Emily gets wetter. Now there are more rhymes in this, but I think that's all we'll do for today, because that's a lot of rhyming. But rhyming is kind of fun, and I like these Thomas and Friends rhymes. Now, just before we end, there are announcements. As you know, our library is always sponsoring either fundraisers or fun activities. Now, one of the first fun activities that is free that you can be involved in is on Tuesdays at 10:30, starting August 17th. So it started last week, actually. It's in Kingsman Park, and it is Mr. Andrew. He's come back by popular demand. You can see his face here. And he will be available probably for much during the summer, the rest of the summer. He enjoys leading people in songs and dances, and he tells stories as well. Then the next thing is our book sale that we will be having in September, starting September 8th. And it is, there's an early access fee on Wednesday the 8th, and that's between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And that is because the special books have been set aside for people who are coming from across the country to collect and buy some of our books. Then the regular sale, free for everyone to come into, starts at 10 a.m. and goes to 8 p.m. in the evening. And then on Thursday and Friday, the sale is open and free to everyone from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, the sale is over at 3 p.m. Now, there's something special we're doing on Friday night along with the book sale, and that is our celebration of our 20th year of being in Chichester. I think it was just 20 years ago that this library was started, and we're going to celebrate that with food trucks will be arriving at the Fury Upper Chichester Township building. Mr. Andrew is also going to be singing and leading other entertainment, and the Delco Cruisers will be there, and I believe that will be, an antique car show to some degree. So do come with your parents. I think they would enjoy this, and you would too. Then, in October the 15th, we're having a designer bag bingo event. Again, it's a fundraiser. It's going to be in the Upper Chichester Township Municipal Building on Fury Road. The tickets are $30 bought in advance, $35 for the ticket at the door. And it will be a fun night of bingo, and you can win a designer bag along with a mystery book. And remember, it's an important fundraiser for our library, and we would love to see you there. And that's it for today. See you next week. Bye-bye.